impermanence, they will all leave us. They will all be separated from us. So if we attach to them, they give us suffering. So if we let go, then we can see this is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. Similarly, for feeling, perception, volition, and consciousness. When one knows and sees thus, monk, then in regard to this body with consciousness and in regard to all external signs, I-making, mind-making, and the underlying tendency to conceit no longer occurs within. Now on that occasion, the following reflection arose in the mind of a certain monk. So it seems that body is non-self, feeling is non-self, perception is non-self, or not self, volition is not self, consciousness is not self. What self then will deeds done by what is not self affect? Then the Blessed One, knowing with his own mind the reflection in the mind of that monk, addressed the monks thus: It is possible, monks, that some senseless man here, obtuse and ignorant, with his mind dominated by craving, might think that he can outstrip the teacher's teaching thus. So it seems that form, feeling, perception, volition, and consciousness is not self. What self then will deeds done by what is not self affect? Now monks, you have been trained by me through interrogation here and there in regard to diverse teachings. What do you think, monk? Is body permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, Venerable Sir. Is what is impermanent suffering or happiness? And they say, suffering, Venerable Sir. Is what is impermanent, suffering and subject to change, fit to be regarded thus: this is mine, this I am, this is myself? No, Venerable Sir. Similarly, is feeling permanent or impermanent, perception, volition, consciousness impermanent or impermanent, permanent or impermanent? And they say impermanent, Venerable Sir. Is what is impermanent suffering or happiness? Suffering, Venerable Sir. Is what is impermanent, suffering and subject to change, fit to be regarded thus: this is mine, this I am, this is myself? No, Venerable Sir. Therefore, seeing thus, the noble disciple, he becomes disenchanted and he becomes dispassionate, then he becomes liberated. These are the 10 questions the monk came to ask, 2 about the aggregates, whether the same, can there be designation and the cause, 2 about identity, 1 each on gratification and this body with consciousness. So the Buddha's towards the end is driving home the point that all the aggregates, which basically are body and mind, are impermanent and a source of suffering, subject to change, not fit to regard them as I or mine. So he's answering that monk who had that thought indirectly. Because this monk, after hearing all that talk about not self, he still cannot let go of that self. So you see, the Buddha, sometimes he has disciples like this who, like the first one who asks intelligent questions, and then the Buddha will answer him, and not only for him, it's for all the other monks also in the assembly. So you see from here, generally the teaching is the same. It's only whether hearing the teaching we can let go or not. If our mind is not clear enough and our attachment is still strong, then we cannot let go. It's only when our mind is clear and that we can let go. 22.83 at Savatthi. There the Venerable Ananda addressed the monks thus: Friends, monks. Friend, those monks replied. The Venerable Ananda said this: Friends, the Venerable Puna Mantani Putta was very helpful to us when we were newly ordained. Stop here for a moment. This Puna Mantani Putta was one of the great Dhamma teachers, and he belonged to the Sakyan clan. There's a place I saw, I think in some sutta, where the Buddha was asking the monks, like in his homeland among the Sakyans, who is a good Dhamma preacher, and they told him, Punna Mantani Putta. And Punna Mantani Putta, here Ananda was saying, was his teacher who brought him to attain the vision of the Dhamma, that means attain stream entry. You can see through here. This Punna Mantani Putta, when I was in practicing Mahayana Buddhism, we used to do chanting, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, the name is Fulo No Man Tolo Niche. Yeah? Fulo No Man Tolo Niche. Sounds the same, Punna Mantani Putta. And then Ananda continued. He exhorted us with the following exhortation. It is by clinging, Ananda, that the notion I am occurs, not without clinging. And by clinging to what does I am occur, not without clinging? It is by clinging to form that I am occurs, not without clinging. It is by clinging to feeling, to perception, to volition, to consciousness that I am occurs, or I exist occurs, not without clinging. Suppose, friend Ananda, a young woman or a man, youthful and fond of ornaments, would examine her own facial image in a mirror or in a bowl filled with pure, clear, clean water. She will look at it with clinging, not without clinging. So too, it is by clinging to form or body that I am occurs, not without clinging. It is by clinging to feeling, to perception, to volition, to consciousness that I am occurs, not without clinging. The crickets like to give us background music. What do you think, friend Ananda? Is body permanent or impermanent? Then Ananda says impermanent. And then he says, what is impermanent, suffering or happiness? And he says, suffering. Is what is impermanent, suffering, subject to change, fit to be regarded as this I am. This is not mine. This is mine. This I am. This is myself. So he says no. Then says if a noble disciple understands this, then he becomes disenchanted with the five aggregates, and becomes dispassionate, and he becomes liberated. Friends, the Venerable Punna Mantani Putta was very helpful to us when we were newly ordained. He exhorted us with that exhortation, and when I heard his Dhamma teaching, I made the breakthrough to the Dhamma. So here he's saying, he attained the vision of the Dhamma, stream entry, because of Punna Mantani Putta. So it's very helpful to have a good monk teacher to help the others attain stream entry by explaining the Dhamma in the right way. 22.84 at Savatthi. Now on that occasion, the Venerable Tissa, the Blessed One's paternal cousin, informed a number of monks, "Friends, my body seems as if it has been drugged. I have become disoriented. The teachings are no longer clear to me. Sloth and torpor persist, obsessing my mind. I am leading the holy life dissatisfied, and I have doubt about the teachings." Stop here for a moment. Sometimes some monks are like that. When they are not practicing well, then sloth and torpor is always controlling their mind, and they start to have doubt about the teacher, doubt about the place, doubt about this and doubt about that, and then they are unhappy when they think about outside the world. They miss their friends, they miss their relatives and all that, and then they think of disrobing. Then a number of monks approached the Blessed One, paid homage to him, sat down to one side and reported this matter to him. The Blessed One then addressed a certain monk thus, "Come, monk, tell the monk Tissa in my name that the teacher calls him." "Yes, Venerable Sir," the monk replied. And he went to the Venerable Tissa and told him, "The teacher calls you, friend Tissa." "Yes, friend," the Venerable Tissa replied. And he approached the Blessed One, paid homage to him and sat down to one side. The Blessed One then said to him, "Is it true, Tissa, that you inform a number of monks thus, 'Friends, my body seems as if it were drugged. I have become disoriented. The teachings are no longer clear to me. Sloth and torpor persist obsessing my mind. I am leading the holy life dissatisfied, and I have doubt about the teachings.'" "Yes, Venerable Sir. What do you think, Tissa? If one is not devoid of lust for body, not devoid of desire, affection, thirst, passion and craving for it, then with the change and alteration of that body, do sorrow, lamentation, pain, displeasure and despair arise within?" "Yes, Venerable Sir." Good, Tissa. So it is, Tissa, with one who is not devoid of lust for body. If one is not devoid of lust for feeling, similarly for perception, volition, consciousness, not devoid of desire, affection, thirst, passion and craving for them, then with the change and alteration of those aggregates, do sorrow, lamentation, pain, displeasure and despair arise within? "Yes, Venerable Sir." Good, Tissa. So it is, Tissa, with one who is not devoid of lust for the aggregates. If one is devoid of lust for body, devoid of desire, affection, thirst, passion and craving for it, then with the change and alteration of that form, do sorrow, lamentation, pain, displeasure and despair arise within? "No, Venerable Sir." Good, Tissa. So it is, Tissa, with one who is devoid of lust for body. Similarly, if one is devoid of lust for feeling, for perception, for volition, for consciousness, devoid of desire, affection, thirst, passion and craving for them, then with the change and alteration of the aggregates, do sorrow, lamentation, pain, displeasure and despair arise within? "No, Venerable Sir." Good, Tissa. So it is, Tissa, for one who is devoid of lust for the aggregates. Stop here for a moment. So here the Buddha is trying to explain the Dhamma very clearly for this Tissa, knowing that Tissa is still very much attached to the five aggregates. That's why he has doubts about the teaching. He is thinking of disrobing. So the Buddha is trying to make him see very clearly that if you continue to attach to the five aggregates, you will suffer. What do you think, Tissa? Is body permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, Venerable Sir. Is what is impermanent suffering or happiness? Suffering, Venerable Sir. Is what is suffering fit to be regarded as this is mine, this is I, this what is suffering as impermanent, subject to change, fit to be regarded as this is mine, this I am, this is myself? No, Venerable Sir. And seeing thus, a noble disciple becomes dispassionate and attains liberation. Similarly, for feeling, perception, volition and consciousness. Suppose, Tissa, there were two men, one unskilled in the path and the other skilled in the path. The man unskilled in the path would ask the skilled man a question about the path, and the latter would say, "Come, good man, this is the path. Go along it a little way, and you will see a fork in the road. Avoid the left-hand branch and take the right-hand branch. Go a little further and you will see a dense thicket. Go a little further and you will see a vast marshy swamp. Go a little further and you will see a steep precipice. Go a little further and you will see a delightful expanse of level ground." I have made up this simile, Tissa, in order to convey a meaning. This here is the meaning. The man unskilled in the path, this is a designation for the ordinary worldling. The man skilled in the path, this is a designation for the Tathagata, Arahant, Sammasambuddha. The fork road, this is a designation for doubt. The left-hand branch, this is a designation for the wrong Eightfold Path. The right-hand branch,